Hey, what's up, folks? Time to get back to work on the old taper attachment build here. So I ran into a little bit of a design flaw with this. When I gave Everett the drawings to cut that dovetail, I didn't really account for the height of this, and well, and I made these a little shorter than I would have liked. So I'm gonna have to take down Everett's big dovetail quite a bit. We're gonna make an incredible amount of chips in a short amount of time. I'll get to that in a minute. First of all, I'd like to thank Dean over at the Iron Cave Shop. He sent me some great pictures and even made a video for me of his old South Bend taper attachment. And it's probably the most extensive view I've had of one, ever. So it was really helpful, and I'm actually going to redesign this part right here. So yeah, big thanks to you, Dean. You're a huge help on that. Not like the guy by the door. He just likes to watch. Anyways, I got the top part of the dovetail all set up in the mill, and I got a new tool. It frickin' blows my mind. Behold, the 3-inch northward face mill. I believe it's supposedly the high-end version of AccuSize. So it's straight off of Amazon. Not affiliated, by the way. I've already been playing with this thing a little bit, and it makes a huge mess very fast. Glorious. I gotta take about, I'm gonna try to take off a 1/4 inch off of the top of this and leave about 1/8 of an inch there. It should be okay. I really hope I don't wreck this. Everett said this stuff was a little bit, had some stresses in it, so we might not take it all off at once. We might just take a bit off and leave it for a while, and then, well, Okay, so I got her set up to about, what is it? 950 RPM. We'll put you right in the line of fire for cinematic purposes. Got it pretty much set up already. I haven't touched off yet, though, obviously. Oh. That was a little fast. Yeah, well, there's our touch off. Not too thrilled with the sparks. Might have to slow it down. Any slower, though, it'll be too slow, I think. So we're gonna go, I don't have a whole lot of meat on there, so I'm gonna be a little conservative on here. We'll try 25 thou right off the bat. Oh my God, I'm getting pelted. It's hard to say which side to be on. Yeah, whatever this material is, it's gummy looking. That's the full width of the cutter. Every freaking inch of it. We'll go a little faster here. Yeah, it seems to like it a little faster. Oh my God, the chips. Check this out. That's what I was afraid of. Yeah, she loosened up. Pretty bugger. And it does help, I guess. Okay, so there's no way I'm going to go any bigger than 25 thou, I don't think. Oh my God, the chips. Yeah, that horde of chips is pretty impressive. We'll keep the broom on standby for sure. Okay, let's check out the chips here. Or Let's check out that finish. That's actually really nice. Wow. Yeah, that's really nice and flat feeling. There's a little bit of a burr there. I think that could just be a burr though. I don't know if that's just a miss spot or if that's a burr. It's pretty hot. We might have to let that cool down a bit. Like I said, that's some serious chip making. Okay, so I can notice these are both kind of loosening up now. They're still touching, but this guy loosened up too. Admittedly, I'm not really sure what to expect here. I find just light taps actually work better than any taps. Yeah, I'm gonna have to let that cool right off. That's really hot. Houston, we have a problem. Getting some pretty weird readings here. I've been miking the edges as I go along. I'm actually probably only gonna take it down to 3/16, which I'm sorry to say I'm pretty much already there. I'm getting very inconsistent readings. So you're getting 187,007 tenths, and then you got 190 over here, 192, 4 tenths, and another 190 and 5 tenths. I just can't seem to get a consistent reading out of it, no matter what I do. Like it's tight on the parallels. But I don't get why these two are the same just about, and these two are 5 thou different. I'm just having a really hard time wrapping my head around this. It's going to do a very small skim pass, I hope. And I've got all the gibs so tight right now. Just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But if it could be just the vise is not worth a damn. Which is possible for 150 bucks. It's probably a piece of junk. Alright, well, that's probably about a 1 thou touch off there. So we give it 2 thousandths. This is going to be a really long, slow journey here, so enjoy it in high speed, hopefully. Why? So this video started off as a lot of fun. You know, I got to try out a new tool and hog off a whole bunch of metal and stuff, and everything was great. Big mess of chips. But as it turns out, This is my first mill. I've never really used the mill, so there's things I don't really know to look out for. And I'll admit that this is not as nice as it looks. It's not that great. There's quite a bit of difference between corner to corner, and the middles are different, and everything's just not sitting right, despite my best efforts of keeping it mounted on the parallels and everything like that, and keeping it tapped down and doing all the stuff you see on YouTube. And apparently it's just not that simple. Now, being a hobbyist YouTube machinist, we can't always afford the best tools. This vise, for instance. Now, when I mic these two sides, thickness, there's 1 thou difference on this side. It was a little bit taller. Yep. There you go. There's our source. 1 thou and 6 inches. So when you get a long piece sticking out, well, you end up, and I think it's a little bit cockeyed too. It's not very good. So I'm not really a big fan of redos. This is the dovetail slide you see me make before. In lieu of the last part that I was trying to film, I guess, with the big dovetail slide. And I touched it up and found all the errors. I came back to this one, and this one is terrible. It is really bad. Like, it looks pretty, but that's about it. It's way taller in the middle than it is on the sides, and these corners are totally different as well. For instance, I got to take this number to 0, so it's 20 thou out. I already did the other side, so that's how I know. So the vise and my setup, and it all comes back to just being an amateur, learning the hard way. So thankfully Everett's piece was very well done, and I could not find a single thing wrong with it, so I ended up sticking this in here, but it's still going to be out because I recut the dovetails a little bit because it was, like I said, I was seeing error. I was like scrambling to try to figure things out. And now that I have, I'm going to have to probably flip this down over again onto the table and clamp it down really good and just give a skim pass over these. These aren't bad. It's not nearly as bad as that other one. I think this one's only got maybe 2 or 3 thousandths of difference. So that's, that's not the end of the world. You look at 57 there and about 59 here. So that's not that, it's not that bad, because when I was sliding this on the mill, it wasn't, it was hardly anything. It was about 2 thousandths. But given that it's a machine tool, that's technically a fail, because like if you're running stuff off, making parts using this as a guide, well, it can't be out. Otherwise that outness is going to transfer to your next part. So there was a lot of compounding errors. So you get one error, then you got to fix the next error, then the next error, and then it's a big jumbled mess of a flustercluck, I guess. And even these little buggers gave me hassle. All right, well, I'm just going to deck this off. Oh, that was satisfying. Does anybody need a cigarette? Well, I'm back. I didn't do it yet, but yeah, that thing just turned into a frickin' springboard. Holy cow, that bent hard. So I'm gonna have to try to straighten that out, I guess. Damn, either that or just give it some heat and warm it up. Yeah, I opened that vise, she just popped right up. Okay, I think I got it to move. Just gotta grab from the top and... Ow! Alright, I'll stop being a friggin' dumbass for YouTube. Things I go through for you guys, on purpose. Well, oh yeah, well, it moves pretty good actually, once you loosen the bolts up all the way. Oh, yeah, that looks really inviting. Okay, well, I'll get set up here, guys, and then I'll get right back to you, because, yeah, you only get one of those. so my mic died. There's that. I'm not a big fan of doing this. I always feel like I'm going to slice my freaking thumb off or something. There's that too. Maybe I got a busted tooth in there. Yeah, there's some crazy stresses in this stuff. It's just springing all over the place. Wow. Look at that gnat out. I'm not even sure what the measurement is, but now it's crooked, so we're going to straighten it out again. Probably not going to be able to do a full depth of cut, so we'll have to take it in multiple passes because it's so skinny on the end. Alright guys, so there is our little gib. Truth be told, it was thicker on one side than it was the other. So now it's a little thinner than I wanted it to initially, but I think it'll still be okay. And after a little bit of deburring with the stone here and just taking down the sharp edges a little bit, it should slide in there quite nicely. There we go. It's still got a little bit of a bend in there, but the screws should straighten that out. All in all, I think it looks pretty good. That was a bit of a pain in the ass to make. Good thing we got two to make. This one's even smaller. You can see they're not straight either. Oh well. Perfect. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, just a little bit. Perfect. Alright, we're using the backup cam, so I don't know how good you guys can hear me, so just bear with me here. There's our bolt. It's a little proud of the surface, which should be okay, because it's the dovetail thing on top of this is going to clear that anyway. It should. If I have to, I'll turn it down. Not a big deal. I just used a die for the threads, because Getting into that big shoulder was a little bit tricky, so I said screw it. Now I really need to do this part to know 100% if this thing is running perfectly true or not, or if it's a little bit out. Quite frankly, it's I'm not really sure if it is or not. This will tell me with certainty if it's going anywhere or not. I blew those threads out. They're fucking sucking it right now. There we go. That's tight. And, oh yeah. I'm lying. I tested it already before I made the head. But that's oh, I should have marked it. Oh well. So that's a little bit off. I would have liked it if it was straight one way or the other, but that's okay. So that's perfect. There's very little to no movement in that at all. And it's spinning very freely. My likes. Oh wow. You have no idea the punishment this thing has put me through. Not exactly your OEM taper attachment for Atlas lathes. It's getting there. Alright guys, I'm going to try to demonstrate what I'm dealing with here. So we got this pretty much running not bad. You know, within half a thou from end to end. Oh, now you can't see the frickin' thing. This is going to be hard to film. So you're just going to have to trust me on this. But it's running about half a thou from end to end on this dovetail. And everything's running flat and within plane. But this part right here, this is the money shot right here. It's stuff like this that has been driving me absolutely freaking insane for the past couple of weeks. Now that vise has screwed me so bad. Now look at that. So you got 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to slide this nice so I don't bang it too hard. You know, 4.5 thousandths of error there. So now if I was to run a taper on a part, you know, I think you could adjust that out maybe, but I don't want to. You know, I want it to be running straight. It has to be all running parallel and adjacent with the ways to work properly. So it's stuff like that that has been driving me absolutely nuts. So now I'm going to have to take you off the pod here, or whatever you want to call that thing. Somewhere down in here on this joint, I'm probably out, you know, 3 or 4 thousandths in squareness. That's the only other way to describe that. Oops. Yeah, well, here you go. Try to get you a good picture here. Oh, fuck. Yeah, this is really hard to film. This is why I missed a lot of this on film. Like, it's running pretty good all along the length here. Within, you know, a thou. We'll see. You know, it does some kind of weirdness in the middle there, but then it kind of comes back. I'm not too worried about that because I'm hoping the gib will take care of that, but because it'll be spanning over a longer distance. It just seems like right in the middle there where that frickin' bolt is, it's throwing it out by a little bit. For whatever reason, I don't know. It's like I said, there's so many things that are just driving me frickin' nuts. Anyways, I gotta find an end to this video. And I think this is it, guys. So until next time, hopefully I'll be able to start off where we left off here and then move on. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.